Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. We are back in the office this week, and we haven't got out on location yet this year, so Sarah and I are going to put our heads together, and hopefully soon we'll be coming to parts unknown here in Newburyport to bring you the corner. But we're in the office this week. It's Thursday afternoon. We've got some weather coming, so it's fine. I feel like winter is finally here, even though we've gone through a lot of it already. But we finally had some snow on the ground this week. Then it warmed up, and then it looks like we're going to get some weather tonight. But from all accounts, it's going to be mostly rain, so it doesn't look like we're going to have to put the blue lights on or anything. But I'll keep you posted. I'm in contact with our acting DPS director, Jamie Tuckalo, and we've got a plan in place, so just stay tuned. But it looks like it's going to be mostly rain, so we'll wait on the blue lights. But we're dying to put those on sometime this winter. So what's going on in Newburyport? I've been talking about it for weeks, but the State of the City is less than a week away. State of the City address, each year I'm going to be addressing the community on the state of the city, which of course is very, very strong. We're all very lucky to be here in this beautiful city of Newburyport. But we're excited about this address, right? Because it's just a great opportunity to talk about my first year in office and all the great things that we were able to do as a team here at City Hall. But then we're also going to look ahead to 2023 and what's coming down the road. What projects are we going to be working on? What initiatives are we going to be trying to do? We're going to talk about the budget coming up. It's almost budget season, so we're going to talk about what that looks like this year. So just a great way to highlight all the wonderful things we have going on here in the city. Another thing that's happening that night is the Public and Community Service Awards. All right, so this is the first annual, and again, I just wanted to make the state of the city all about Newburyport and the great people that we have here and the great work, all around service to our community, right? So there's so many people giving so much of their time and talent to the city. I wanted to highlight that, so we're going to do that with these first annual awards. And actually, out of the blue right now, I'm going to tell you the finalists for these awards because they've all been notified at this point, so it shouldn't be a complete surprise. But we've got some great nominees. We received close to 100 different nominations for these awards, which is really great. And we're going to have different categories for the awards, right? So there's going to be a public service award, okay? And then there's going to be three around community service. So there's going to be an individual award, there's going to be a business award, so nominating a business or recognizing a business who's doing great work in the community. And then also there's going to be a youth award, so 18 and under we're going to recognize. So I'm going to read these out real quick, okay? So for the Business Service Award, we have two finalists. We have Kona Ice with Nikki Vazos, new business, but doing a lot of great work here in the community. You'll see that Kona Ice truck, especially in the summer, all over town. And then Olive's Coffee and Bake Shop, Deborah Ball, who we're big visitors of Olive's. My daughter Ruby, I think, would live there if they'd allow her to. So we're happy for Deborah and her team at Olive's. They do a lot of great work in the community. So those are our two business finalists. For the Individual Community Service Awards, we have Jeffrey Briggs, well-known, famous sculptor here in town, and he's getting nominated for all his great work that he does in the city, particularly most recently at the Custom Maritime House around the great Newburyporters exhibit, or the famous legendary Newburyporters exhibit. Dana Reimer, who is a current president of the Newburyport Youth Soccer Association, got nominated for her wonderful work with that organization. Katie Suchecki, who is a current PTO president, and if you're involved with the schools at all, you know Katie Suchecki. She is just everywhere and gives so much of her time and energy, wonderful energy, to our efforts with the PTO. Dick Tierney, long-time Learn to Skate and youth hockey coordinator down at the Graf Rink. If you learn to skate in Newburyport, you know who Dick Tierney is. He's been doing it since I was a kid. So really pleased that Dick is getting recognized. And then Kristen Walth, who's doing a lot of volunteering with our recycling team down off of Colby Farm Lane. And Kristen has been instrumental in her help down there and just trying to make the world a better place. So happy to have Kristen be a finalist. For the Public Service Award piece, Diane Bovair, who works in our planning office. She is the office manager, and she has been there for years. She got nominated. She works in our planning department office, and she is the office manager there and does a wonderful job. Paul Healy's been nominated for his 38 years of service on the Conservation Commission. He also volunteered his time on the CPC, the Community Preservation Commission Committee, who decides what projects our CPA funds go to. Ken Parsesian, who is a Newburyport firefighter and does a lot of work with the schools, and around the community, Salvation Army. He organizes the Santa Parade, which I got to march in this year, but Ken does a lot of great work in the city. And then Bonnie Sontag for over 20 years on the planning board. So those are our finalists for the Public Service Award, so all great. And then finally, our Youth Community Service Award finalists. If you remember, we had seven great fourth graders last year that helped organize a bake sale for Ukraine relief aid. And so they all got nominated by Senator Bruce Tarr, but that's Emerson Andergreg, Harper Kulowick, Addie Lord, Sarah Lyman, Molly Mascara, Helen Ober, and Nika Trefalt Liu all got nominated. So very happy for them. And some other youth getting nominated were Maxwell McCown he does a lot of volunteer hours around kids doing Dungeons and Dragons, building those connections, which is kind of neat. Matthew Murray for his work as a volunteer with the Newburyport Junior Clippers and Special Olympics. And finally, Luke O'Brien, who I've talked about on a Mayor's Corner before. He does a lot of work around his nonprofit Gear to Share, where he collects gear and repurposes athletic gear to kids that need it. So really great. So those are all our public and service award nominees. And finalists, I should say, not nominees, but finalists. So those guys are all the finalists. We're so excited. It's such a great group. So they'll all be at City Hall on Wednesday for the award ceremony and for the State of the City. And also that night, we're going to be honoring Vicki Hendrickson for her decades of work around the Newburyport Adult and Community Education Program here in Newburyport. And I've known Vicki a long time, so it's going to be great to honor her that night as well. Sorry, that was a huge mouthful, but we're excited about our nominees. We're excited about our finalists. Thank you, Newburyport, for jumping on this initiative with me. I think it's a great idea, and it's a great way to honor just great people doing great work here in Newburyport. A couple other things that's going on in the city. The dredge has not started back up yet. They are working on the dredge right now. The latest update I have is that Tuesday, January 24th, the weather permitting, the dredge will resume. We also have a meeting coming up of the MRBA, which is the Merrimack River Beach Alliance Group, that will go through a lot of this information around the dredge on February 3rd at 9 a.m. at Peter Hall. So those are the two dates that we have for that right now. I mentioned budget season a little bit, and this will be talked about during the State of the City, but we're just about to enter budget season, so internally we're working on documents that we'll send out to department heads so they can fill them out and send them back to us as we start preparing our budget. The schools have jumped into this process as well, so there's kind of two different paths going on at the same time. I'm chair of the school committee, so we've had a couple of conversations and presentations around that. Just so you know, just because I think there's some misinformation getting reported, so I guess I'll say, we're working through our usual process at the school department level. Again, he presented what a level services budget would look like, but that's just where we start our school budget, right? Because with contract, inflation, special education costs, there's things that we can't control. So that's where we start in the budget process, and you can see, so right now, it's projected really high, right? So, I think it's a 4% increase in just salaries and inflation costs. And then if you add in special education and all the other variables, it brings it up to like 5.8. So, last year there was only a 5% increase in total budget for the schools. So if we're starting at a level services up at 5.8, but there's a lot more work to be done there. So that's why I bring that up. We haven't even heard from the schools yet. We'll get individual presentations from each school that will talk about their needs for the year. And there's also ways that we're going to reuse money already in the budget and reallocate that to support some of these strategic initiatives. So they're in the very early stages of the process. So again, I know there's been some articles printed about the budget, but again, any questions, please reach out. Check out the school website. We're in the very beginning stages, and there's just a lot more to come with that. We've been working on our Streets and Sidewalks Plan for, that's year 2, right? So last year I started my 5-year plan. We did over 23 streets. This year we're working to finalize our list of streets. We're working with engineering, making sure all the designing is done of those streets. These are things that never happened before here in the city. So the fact that we have this plan in place and we can do a lot of this planning ahead of time is great. We probably won't do as many streets this year, but we're actually going to do more streets as far as length. So it's going to be over 4 miles of streets and sidewalks that we work on this year. So we're going to continue to work on that list, and we'll be submitting all of that to City Council as we work with the contractor DNR to start this process. So we're excited about the streets and sidewalks being done this year. And there's going to be big ones in there too. We're talking Plummer Ave. We're talking out in Longfellow. We're going to do a little bit. We're talking Arlington Street. and Noble Street. These are all so we're working on wards 2, 4, and 6 this year. So those are all streets that are in desperate need of some either redesign or paving. So we're excited about that. Noble Street, I know you guys are going to be excited. That's been talked about. I used to live on Noble Street, 2B Noble, I used to live on. So I know that street is in desperate need of a sidewalk, one, and then the road to get repaved. So I'm excited about that. Another cool thing that's happening this week is MMA is happening. So the Mass Municipal Association is having their annual conference. They didn't actually have it last year, so they're having it this year. It's in Boston. I'm going to have some department heads come in from the city and attend some workshops. I'm going in for a lot of meetings with the organization, but then also private mayor meetings as well. But it's my first time going, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually heading in there tonight, and then I'll be there all day Friday and Saturday for workshops and events, and just hopefully getting a lot of great information. So I'm excited about that. Last night I got to attend our new state auditor, DiZoglio's inauguration, which was a great event. She packed the Methuen High School. She's from Methuen. So it was a great event for Methuen, but it was just a lot of great people coming together in the area to honor Diana and all the hard work she did. She's our former state senator. She did a lot of work for Newburyport. It was nice to see some Newburyport people there as well. Our new governor, Mayor Healy, swore her in. And there was a lot of other great performances and speakers there as well, but it was just a really exciting night. And it worked out great for me because my daughter Ruby had a basketball game going on in Methuen at the same time, so I was able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But so happy for our state auditor, and I'm so excited to work with her in her new role. That's really exciting. And then finally, just one other thing I wanted to mention this week is that, I get asked all the time to promote different fundraisers going on in the city. So some people have been asking recently, like, are there any other additional things going out there around, supporting Ukraine or raising money for Ukraine who are still going through this war with Russia? There is a local couple, Jared and Nadia Sadowski. I think they live out on Plum Island, but they have set up a website that they're originally have connections to Ukraine, family connections to Ukraine, so they're raising money, and I'm just going to give out their website, and if you have any questions, you can look it up and reach out to them, but their website is www.novakahorka.life, which I've never seen a website like that before, but I did check it out. It's a lot of great information in there around Ukraine, and that's the area of Ukraine I believe that they're from. And that's my Mayor's Corner this week. I think we had a lot of good information this week. I think the big takeaways are, please come to the State of the City address. It's happening next Wednesday. It's January 25th, 7 p.m. upstairs at City Hall. NCM Hub is going to be broadcasting that, which is great. They do such a great job. We're going to have hopefully some performances in there. Senator Bruce Tarr is going to come speak. Council President Shand will speak as well. I'll give my State of the City address, and then we're going to have a really wonderful event around our Public and Community Service Awards and the finalists that I just read off to you. So plan ahead. I'd love to see you on Wednesday night, and I hope I see you next time on the Mayor's Corner.